on friends, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you are all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that. In today's video, I want to talk about Frank Lampard selecting Mason Mount all the time. Young Mount has become a divisive character, certainly on social media. Some Chelsea fans do not like the player, some Chelsea fans do not like the fact how Frank Lampard seemingly overplays the player. Personally, I think it would be a bit unfair to dislike the player himself, who just works really hard. But I think there is a little bit of confusion and understandably some frustration seeing Mason Mount farmed out on the wing in matches of late. And I wanted to talk about that and offer up some statistics that might shed a little bit of light and also offer you my personal opinion on what I feel about Mason Mount. Also the out of favour Callum HudsonOdoi as well, how I truly feel about this player, and of course the likes of Hakim Ziyech, etc. Strap yourselves in, boys and girls. This is hopefully going to be an insightful video here on you. I can't talk, man. I cannot talk. This is hopefully going to be an insightful video here on Football Therapy today. Love football? I love football, I'm sure you do too. You should check out the OneFootball app. That's right, this video is brought to you by OneFootball, the totally free and helpful companion if you're a football fan. OneFootball gives you everything. Stats, news, statistics, I said statistics. Fixtures, lineups, match results, transfer news, general news about your club team or international team. It's totally free to get on your phone. You can also check it out on the web by clicking the link in the top of the description. Do yourself that favour, mate. Alright then, let's get into it. Righto! So, some Chelsea fans are frustrated. Frank Lampard has been picking Mason Mount to play out on the wing lately over a potentially fully fit Callum HudsonOdoi. Now, I do want to offer this disclaimer. I don't know if he is entirely fit, how he looks in training. He might not be looking good, and therefore it's pretty cut and dry why Frank Lampard ends up picking a Mason Mount to play on the wing, on the left wing or the right wing. And obviously Hakim Ziyech isn't quite ready, so we could probably understand that. Off the bat, let's just give you some of my opinions on the wingers. If you ask me, Jan, who are your starting wingers, who is your starting front three, every single day of the week, if everyone's fit, I want to see Pulisic on the left, Hakim Ziyech, proper copy there, Hakim Ziyech on the right with Timo Werner up front. Nothing against Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, superb players, they're young, they can get better, they're academy boys, which has got a feel-good factor there. You know, they can find their way into the team, different formations will accommodate different players. But if we're playing a winger system, for me, it is Pulisic and Ziyech. They're the big money signings, they're the big talents. So that's that out of the way. Now, before I want to talk about the value of Mason Mount and some surprising statistics and positive ones, I do want to talk about Callum HudsonOdoi because he hasn't been picked much of late, and you know, if I'm saying some positive stuff about Ziyech and Mount, even though I don't want Mount to play on the wing, I want to tell you about my opinion on Callum HudsonOdoi. If you ask me, Jan, who's the most talented, like bright, sparkling talent youngster at Chelsea who hails from the academy? I'm not going to say Tammy Abraham, I'm not going to say Mason Mount, I'm not even going to say Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's obviously not that young anymore, but obviously a massive academy talent. I'm going to say Callum HudsonOdoi. Trust me, I think he could be amazing. I was there when he scored his first goal and assist at Stamford Bridge for the first team. The joy in his face, the performance the kid put in, he's been tearing up youth football his entire life. Obviously we know Bayern Munich are willing to pay crazy money for him. Genuinely, he could be Chelsea's own Jadon Sancho. So before anyone gets it twisted and thinks I have an agenda against Callum HudsonOdoi, I absolutely don't. I think he's our biggest young talent, genuinely. As in sort of younger than 21, do you know what I mean? Because Kai Havertz and Gang and Pulisic, they're pretty darn good. But does that mean he should be starting every game? Not necessarily. Pretty much the problem is in the Premier League, if you want to be a top tier forward line player, especially on the flanks as well, man, you gotta work hard. Eden Hazard was the best player in the Premier League, and sometimes coaches, Mourinho, Sarri, Conte, had problems with Hazard because he didn't do defensive work or any pressures or pressing, and that's how Hazard Force 9 was born, because it absolved him of these responsibilities. So even the best player in the Premier League had troubles with this at times, especially if you're a teenager like Callum HudsonOdoi. growing up, your mind's not settled yet. You can't be expected to just know this elite defensive forward play like you have to do. Why did so many managers love Willian? He never really scored or assisted. It's because he did this kind of work, mate. Look at Sadio Mane, maybe like the form winger in the Premier League the last 2 years. His pressing from the front, when he doesn't play, Liverpool almost fall apart. That's how important the front wide men in football are these days in terms of functioning at a high offensive level and being a successful top tier team. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Christian Pulisic came in, and then he started playing amazingly under Frank Lampard. It's you need to understand, it's a very difficult role, especially if you're playing a sort of high press, high octane, explosive style of football like Frank Lampard wants to play, like, City and Liverpool play. So Ziyech is going to have to really sharpen up, and he's 27, so he's quite experienced. Hopefully he can get into that relatively quickly, but I don't want to put loads of pressure on Callum HudsonOdoi. We know he can do it moving forwards. We know he's got a higher sort of offensive statistics and metrics than someone like Mason Mount being farmed on the wing. We know that. But it's not all about that. So often you can find Frank Lampard starting Mason Mount on the wing. Now, again, I feel it's important I take this opportunity to offer the disclaimer of, I do not think Mason Mount should be starting on the wing for Chelsea. I think he's an excellent player and he can be good, creative moving forwards, be a goal threat, assist, he's good in midfield. We're going to talk a little bit more about his work in a second. But on the wing, he's wasted. Not only are you losing something on the wing, I think he's positive traits that can actually turn a game for you that we've seen many times last season and even in this season against West Brom in terms of inspiring the comeback. A lot of that goes when he's on the wing. Yes, he's positionally versatile and the fact how he's comfortable to play out there a little bit, is good, but really I see him as like a second striker, a number 10, almost notably a number 8 where he does his best work. Versatile throughout the sort of middle channel of the pitch, if you ask me. But let me tell you why Frank Lampard would value him so much. The aforementioned traits of a successful attacking team in the Premier League is, like I said, pressing from the front, high octane, blocking channels, putting on pressures, tackling in the final third, turning the ball over quickly so you can convert against a team that's not prepared to defend that chance. Last season in all competitions, Mason Mount was in first place for pressures against the opposition. Now, pressures is when you press the opposition, you wait for a trigger and you run in and you press the ball. It's massive in modern football. It's what you do to turn over possession. It's what you do to make the opposition pass back or, misplace a pass. It's basically like pressing football has been in vogue for the last few years. So that's what a pressure is. In all competitions last season, Mason Mount made 875. Second place was 747, and that was Jorginho, who played in a CDM role, who's expected to do a lot of that. So for Mason Mount to be so far ahead on his own as more of a sort of roaming number 8 midfielder is pretty darn impressive. So off the bat, an incredibly impressive statistic. That alone is probably a good reason to pick him because he's going to be pressing for 90 minutes till the end, and he's not just a player who presses. We've seen him score free kicks, assist with dead balls, score goals himself, and he's got a good passing record. So he's got the all-round play, but in terms of his work rate and pressing the opposition, he's unparalleled in this Chelsea squad. Another interesting and important stat that goes with this style of play is no player in the Chelsea squad has made more final third tackles than Mason Mount. So this is turning over possession in the opposition's defensive third, in Chelsea's offensive third, their attacking third. Mason Mount's at the top for final third tackles, so if it's not just pressing, like I said, trying to make the opposition lose the ball, misplace a pass back to the keeper, or just turn over possession, he's actually taking the ball off them more than any other Chelsea player in the final third, more than any of the strikers in front of him, the wingers in front of him, or the midfielders next to him. He's out there on his own. Now, I don't want to bore any of you with stats, man, but it is really important that you look at this, and for any coach, Frank Lampard, Antonio Conte, Mourinho, Sarri even, for a philosophical, dogmatic coach, would love this. Every coach would love this. You'd look at these particular statistics from your football player and be like, this guy needs to be in the team. Even if it's out on the wing, I can trust him to press from the front, turn over possession, and defend well as a forward/midfielder. even if it's wasting his talents. And that's what frustrates me, because Mason Mount isn't just about hard work. He is a gifted footballer, and we've seen him in the number 8 role be like the man of the match for Chelsea. So that's why it frustrates me that it creates this divide on social media, and people are actually turning on the player himself, when first and foremost, he's a hard worker that just really wants to play for Chelsea, and has played for Chelsea his entire life. This is not some peculiar Mason Mount propaganda where I think he should be playing anytime, all the time. I think he gets overplayed to the point he has bad performances. I think he gets played out of position, but at the same time, I have some sympathy why Frank Lampard plays him out on the wing, or always plays him because he trusts him so much, when perhaps other alternatives like Callum HudsonOdoi, who for me is far more talented in the offensive phase of play, needs to settle in and learn some stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video and you've taken in some of the stats, and you hopefully can hone your opinion in a little bit if you are of a different inclination. Let me know what you think. Get down into the comment section below and express your thoughts and opinions on this content I brought for you today, my friends. If you are new to the channel, do consider subscribing. Very close to 100k now. And if you want to help me out, drop a like on the video. I don't know if I've already said that because I'm so tired. But anyway, thank you for watching. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.